Whoa. Hey, good. How's it going?
Yeah, I'll take a bottle of water.
The guy that found WeWork owns this place.
Yes.
Our housing crisis, it has gotten to such epic proportions.
The widespread housing crisis.
Another housing crisis could be coming.
There's housing crisis in the country.
America is staring at a housing crisis dead in the face. Soaring rent prices, unattainable homeownership, and a widening chasm between the have and have-nots. And WeWork co-founder Adam Neumann is here to save the day.
Flow, this is your new company.
Where does WeWork end and where does Flow begin and where do they dovetail?
What is Flow?
What's Flow gonna do? Flow is building a consumer-facing residential brand. We own 3,000 apartments that we're running. We have over 150 employees. Flow is using technology and community to bring these buildings together.
Following his tumultuous exit from WeWork, and more recently a potential reunification, in the summer of 2022, Adam Neumann launched a brand new real estate startup called Flow, which is now valued at $1 billion after a $350 million investment from Marc Andreessen and his venture capital firm A16Z. The art of failing upward, a skill that I'm still hoping to pick up.
66% of adults in America that are younger than 35 are renters. They spend a third of their income on rent. High interest rates are making development slow down again, so that number is growing even higher, and the opportunity is unbelievable.
Mr. Andreessen, in a blog post announcing his firm's investment in Flow, wrote the following, quote, "Shelter is one of our most basic needs. In a world where access to home ownership continues to be a driving force behind inequality and anxiety, giving renters a sense of security, community, and genuine ownership has transformative power for our society. And so, we are excited to partner with Adam Neumann and his colleagues on Flow, which is a direct strike on precisely this problem." Lofty goals, and it just so happens that the first Flow-branded property opened in Fort Lauderdale late last year in the form of a luxury high-rise condominium called Society Las Olas. So today, we're going to go undercover to investigate exactly how Neumann's new startup Flow plans to tackle America's housing crisis, or if there is more to this story than meets the eye. Behind me is Society Las Olas, the secretive billion-dollar startup founded by WeWork's Adam Neumann, with the supposed goal of solving the housing crisis while simultaneously turning apartment living into a utopian fantasy.
Let's go inside to see what we can find out.
Whoa. Hey, good. How's it going?
Yeah, I'll take a bottle of water.
The guy that found WeWork owns this place.
Yes.
Do you see him around here?
Oh, sorry.
Do you really?
Yeah.
And he comes here?
Yeah. Adam Neumann comes here also.
Do you mind if I video this real quick?
Yeah, I'm good. So you have washer and dryer here. It comes with the same appliances. You have food disposal. You're looking east, so you have like ocean view, office.
Okay.
Making as well. It's all windows, floor to ceiling windows, so lots of lighting. Walk-in shower, pretty spacious.
No, the 2 bathrooms is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have great jacuzzis. We have those day beds right there, so you can like lay down and sunbathe.
Wait, so is your boat the big one or the small one?
Better be the big one. Lots of lounge chairs. We do also have a DJ that comes and plays over there once a month.
Every day of the week, we have something different.
So we're changing the furniture. We're putting this like foam style offices.
So these machines are pretty much brand new.
How does it work?
I guess you can put the weight there, like
And you
depending on
push
the
it?
force, and then you just push it, yeah. And then you put that around your wrist.
Oh.
So it's like for people who don't do manual labor for work, you just come here and do some.
Pretty much.
This is in Fort Lauderdale. Is luxurious as it gets, or what?
Yeah. Breakfast as well, and we do like meatball sales if anything.
So you don't have to like leave this place.
Yeah.
Modern fixtures and appliances, floor-to-ceiling windows, balconies with gorgeous views of the Florida coastline, not to mention a massive resort-style pool, co-working spaces, outdoor movie theater, and an on-site restaurant. Not gonna lie, Flow seems kind of just like an elevated luxury apartment building. So I was kind of left wondering, am I the crazy one who doesn't understand how this does anything to solve the housing crisis? What am I not getting?
The housing crisis, and I think you spoke about affordability. I think that was our initial theory going into it. But separate from a financial problem, it's an emotional problem. It's a spiritual problem.
Ah, it's a spiritual problem. And with spiritual problems come, of course, spiritual solutions.
So if I'm a 22-year-old and I'm going to be a renter for the next 10 to 20 years, I need an elevated experience. I'm also going to spend a third of my income on that rent. And it just makes sense that I would want to do it in a place where I'm part of a community.
With Americans now spending more than 30% of their income on rent, and some 12 million Americans spending 50% or more on rent, Neumann's flow looks not to reduce that financial burden on Americans, but rather to increase it, because community.
I come from a kibbutz, we'll talk about that a little later, and community for me and bringing people together is an obvious thing. And when I saw those buildings with 400 apartments, 600 apartments, they have swimming pools, they have kitchens, they have gyms, it seems like it should be the world's best place to live. Meanwhile, no one was talking to anyone. You add that to the macro facts of 66% of 35-year-olds and younger in America, adults, are renters. They spend a third of their income. This number is so big it's hard to comprehend. 66% of adults in America that are younger than 35 are renters. They spend a third of their income on rent, and there's no brand.
An entry-level apartment at Society Las Olas that's 458 square feet starts at about $2,200, which is several $100s more than the average 500 square foot studio in Fort Lauderdale based on estimates compiled by Apartments.com, which is the premium Adam Neumann wants you to pay to feel like owners.
We are able to take this value creating mechanism and share with the residents a portion of the value. It's going to make them feel ownership. And it's not just ownership, I feel like I'm part of something. It's I actually own part of something. And again, the word ownership is a very complicated word, especially in this place. But if there's perceived value, and if that value appreciates over time, then I feel like I'm part of a community. And a very funny example that we like to give is if you're in your apartment building and you're a renter and your toilet gets clogged, you call the super. If you're in your own apartment and you bought it and you own it and your toilet gets clogged, you take the plunger. And it's the difference when feeling like you own something to just feeling like you're renting, from being transactional to actually being part of a community.
To be clear, they did tell me that there is on-site maintenance staff to help take care of issues like this. But while I was there, I did try to get the tea on how a Flow resident would feel ownership. I've not heard, okay, so what is, tell me more about drops.
So it's a new concept. So basically how you get this points is by you being a leaseholder, you already get points. By you attending to all of our social events, you also get points. So that's how we pretty much want everybody to come together as a community by participating in all of this class of events as well, by getting rewarded too. You can also send reward points to your residents or to your neighbors.
So it looks like Neumann's idea for sharing value or ownership is residents earning credits or points by participating in community events, with those points then being able to be exchanged for goods and services in the building. Which isn't nothing. I enjoy a froyo punch card just as much as anybody else, but solving America's housing crisis, I don't know about that. From a business perspective, profit-seeking firms just aren't designed to solve tragedy of the commons problems. So while Andreessen and Neumann might talk about new technologies and efficiencies in housing, those considerations are almost entirely self-serving.
The business model that we have is a vertically integrated system. We own the buildings, we operate the buildings, we build the technology, we build a community, and we build the teams that are running them. And when you bring all of that together, the moment a resident is happier, more fulfilled, and stays longer, the building's churn goes down. Churn is the amount of times people leave a building, and the building is immediately more profitable. Happier residents, more fulfilled residents equals more profitable buildings.
And there you go, the trajectory of a Silicon Valley startup. It's almost always the same, which is to correctly diagnose the problem and then to wax poetic about some elegant solution, only to then ultimately care about creating value for themselves and their shareholders, along with increasing their power and influence over the masses.
Howard Schultz, who's a great entrepreneur and also a company that I really admire, came up with the concept of the third place. He would say the first place was the home, the second place was the office, and the third place was Starbucks, where you could get a cup of coffee, meet someone, and be surrounded by other people. The new solution for the future of living needs to be more the one place as opposed to the first or the third. And that's what Flow is going to do.
The one place. So not only are we staring down the barrel of forever renting, but we are also facing the complete elimination of the third place, a place of real community outside of work and home, not just as an unfortunate byproduct of a late-stage post-industrial dystopia, but actually as a deliberate policy objective proposed by tech oligarchs like Neumann and Andreessen to, in effect, confine the masses to one location, a location that, sure, on the surface conveys a sense of luxury, of wealth, of leisure, even maybe some community, but is in reality wholly devoid of any real humanity. All right, that is it for me this week. Let me know what your thoughts are about Flow. Is it the solution to our housing crisis, or is it just another luxury apartment complex? Let me know down in the description below. If you enjoy my work and you want to support me, please take a second to like this video, share with as many people as possible. Also, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and finally hit that notification bell if you feel so inclined. And as always, love to thank you for your time. I'll see you in the next one.